Hello everyone. I hope that I am live and sorry for being little late today because at last moment my system got crashed. The link was not working, but it is about the technical glitch which we should be able to handle. And this is one of the quality of authentic leader, that how do you handle the situation. So, I again welcome you all to this live session that is about the leadership growth. So, today I'm going to talk about the T model. So, the topic for today is T model framework for the leadership growth up to CXO level. So, any one of you are if planning for CXO level, which is the senior most leadership position in any organization, you need to have this quality. You need to control, or you need to learn the T model factor, which I'm going to share today. Okay, now what is T model factor, that I'm going to talk later. But one thing which I want to understand is, what do you understand by leadership growth? Okay, and what do you understand, what are the skills needed for leadership growth? So I can see in the room Yukti and Komal. So Yukti and Komal, how we are going to conduct the today's session, that we are live on various platforms. Okay, and in case you have any question, if you want to put any question, if you want to add your point here, please put in a chat box. Once we complete the session, we will bring you on the stage so that you can share, you can ask, you can communicate with me. Is that okay? Please give me a thumbs up in a chat. Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Komal. Thank you so much. And everyone who is watching me live on, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, please make sure that you ask question there, or please put your comment there so that I get to know that my whatever information I'm sharing today, it is making sense to you and it is adding some value to your growth, to your pathway towards CXO level. Okay, so now I was talking about the pathway towards CXO level and what are the skills needed in terms of leadership growth. So I can see Yukti, I can see Komal, and let me check there also if anybody is there, and a few of the reply which I got in my WhatsApp, in other platforms also. So most of the people think that, and if you would also be agreeing with me, that leadership is all about how you influence others. Okay, how do you transform others life, and how do you impact others life? Please type yes if you agree with me that these are the basic leadership requirement or basic leadership quality which we need in a leader. Okay, thank you so much, Komal and Yukti. Now the question comes is, the question which I had in my mind, and that's why I came up with this T model factor. See, whenever we talk about the leadership, we talk how leaders behave with others, whether it is impacting, whether it is transformation, whether it is creating impact, or whether it is influencing others. But here, when I talk about the skills, we are talking the skills which leaders need to have. Okay, which leaders need to have. So first of all, how the session is going to be, the first thing I'm going to cover the myths we have in terms of leadership growth. The second point, we are going to cover the traits, the basic trait which leaders should have. And finally, we are going to cover the T model, which is the basic topic or the main topic for today's session. Okay, so now let me share my screen, and yeah, I think I have to share my screen, and then okay. All right, so I hope it is visible. Let me check in other platforms also. Please confirm in a chat box if it is visible and you are able to see it clearly. Okay, let me just confirm in other platforms also if it is visible clearly. Okay, meanwhile, I want all of you, what do you understand, or what are the basic myths we have in terms of leadership? Why do you think that leadership is basically a myth, and we have to overcome, especially when it comes to leadership growth? What are the basic myths you think in the market which we need to overcome? Please type in a chat box. Meanwhile, I'll check whether we are live in platform or not. Yeah, we are live in LinkedIn. We are uh, we are live in okay. Yes, we are live on YouTube also, and I believe we are live on Facebook. So let me check once again, one more time, the Facebook uh, profile. Okay, Yukti mentioned that leaders are dominant and they do not like the feedback. Okay, okay, and must be extrovert, have all knowledge. Okay, yes, very good. So these are the myths, or these are the basic narrative which is happening nowadays. What do you understand? What is your what are these points related to? These are the myths you are talking about, or are these the narratives you have in your mind in terms of leadership? Myths. Very good. Yes. Komal, what about you? It's a myth. Yes. Perfect. All right. So first point, perfect. So Komal and Yukti have mentioned that leaders are dominant and they do not like feedback. It's a myth. Very good. And must be extrovert, have all the knowledge. Yes, of course, it's a myth. Yes, of course, it's a myth. So now, since we are live in all of the platform and people are joining from various platforms, so let me show you what I have here. Okay. So I'll increase the size a bit so that you can watch it clearly. Okay, so so today we are going to deep dive little bit of T model framework, which I have described, which I have developed based on my learning and personal experience in from IIM Calcutta. Okay, so if most of you would be knowing, or you might be knowing, that I have done the executive leadership program from IIM Calcutta, and whatever I have learned from there, and whatever learning or experience I have implemented in my personal life and professional life. Through that, I have developed this T model framework. And then we will, as we go through the session, I will describe exactly what is T model framework. But let's talk about the myth first. Okay. So, yes, of course, Yukti and Komal, what you have mentioned is correct. But let's talk about the myths we have, in the basic narratives we have in the market related to leadership growth. Okay, so the first point, which is very famous for leaders, is leader transform others, influence and transform others. So this is the basic myth we have, the narrative we have about the leaders, that they transform and influence others. Okay, now tell me, both of you, since all of you are here in the session, now you tell me, um, if you are a CEO, or if you are a managing director of a company, will you get up in the morning just thinking that, okay, I need to transform 10 people in 2 days? Okay, will you get it? Will Is that your daily goal, or will you think that, okay, I have to increase the revenue, or I have to work towards this project, or I have to complete this assignment, that would be, or I have to communicate with the client, or I have to connect with that stakeholder, right? So no, none of the leaders get up in the morning and they plan in a way that, okay, today I have to get up in the morning and I have to transform 10 people's life. Okay, this is not their objective. For example, let's talk about Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. They had one mission, that I need freedom, but they never talk about that, okay, I need 100 people today, I will target 100 people to follow me, right? This is not the leadership, the true leadership, correct? So do you agree with me or not? Okay, is this the right way of putting this narrative? Yes, thank you so much, thank you so much. But now the second point is, then what is the reality? how the leader works. The true, I'm talking about the authentic leader, right? Not the leaders, not the leaders who need followers or who are crazy for the followers. कि अरे मेरे पीछे 100 लोग होने चाहिए मेरे yes boss बोलने के लिए. Right? I'm not talking about those leaders. I'm not talking about the authoritative or controlling leaders. I am talking about the authentic leaders. Okay. So second point is, now what is the reality then? How leaders work? So if this is the myth that leader do not, so the reality, the myth is that leaders transform and influence others. No, leaders never think in that way. The transformation happens in automative way. How does it happen? I'll tell you. So the reality is the leaders work for themselves, for their mission, for their project, for their vision, whatever it is. For example, if you are a CXO of a company, say for example, you are a CEO of a company or a CFO of a company, you have a plan that today, this time, this year in 2026, my company turnover should be $50 million dollar. Okay, is being a CFO, being CEO, you can think, okay, this year I want to expand my business to Asia, South Asia region. Okay, this could be your vision, this could be your mission, but you are not planning to transform people's life. But what is happening exactly, that when you are working on your mission, when you are working on your vision, by the way you are working on your mission and vision, people get inspired by the way you are working, and they transform their life. Okay, so you are just walking your talk, you are not doing anything special to transform others' life, but people are getting influenced by you, by the work you are doing, by the authenticity you have, by the intention you have, by the commitment you have towards your own work. Do you agree with me or not? Please tell me, do you agree with me or not? Yeah, thank you so much, thank you so much. Now moving ahead to, thank you so much. Now moving ahead to second myth. Okay, now second myth is, you know, need to be master of the technology. Okay, so if you want to be the leader, then you need to be the master of technology. In fact, Komal also mentioned you need to know everything if you are a leader. This is again a narrative which is a myth. Or as Yukti said, that you have to be dominant if you want to be a leader. That's a absolutely big myth or wrong narrative we have in the market. Just because, and that's the reason people say that women cannot be a great leaders, because they cannot control people, they cannot be dominant, right? So this is absolutely a myth. And when we are talking about that leader should know everything or leader should know the deep technology, it's not necessary. It's not necessary, because now, see, nowadays when AI is coming in the market, there are many AI masters, but not necessary that each AI master will be the leader. Why? Because the hard skill, the technology learning, the technology skills can get you the position. But if you know the soft skills, if you know the understand the human behavior, if you know the human skills, then you will be indispensable. Okay, so being a leader is not necessary you know the technology or techniques or tactics, but you need to know the human behavior or the human skills, right? So these are the, and of course, as Komal mentioned, you need to know everything, not necessary, not necessary, but you need to have the overview of most of the thing which is happening around you. You cannot close your eyes, you cannot be blinded towards the things which is happening around you. Okay, so this is important, that people, the leader has to be upgraded every time. The leader needs to know what is happening related to his business and related to his surroundings, right? So this is important. Now moving to the next point, that is character of an authentic and influential leader. Okay, so now what is happening when I ask this question, that what are the five skills and the one skills for the T factor model of a leadership growth, then people got confused between the traits, the qualities, and the skills. So that is why I thought to add this point, that what are the characters and what are the traits a leader have as as a core quality, and what are the skills which leaders develop with time. Okay, so there are two categories. It's not the same thing. Okay, so there are few qualities which is within a leader inside, by birth maybe, or by the conditioning, or by the culture, or by the behavioral conditioning. But there are few skills which you can develop with time. So let's talk about the qualities which is inculcated with time or inculcated through conditioning. Okay, so the first point is, I hope you are able to see my screen. Yeah, so the first point is open mindset. Okay, the first point is open mindset. Okay, so how does it work? See, as Yukti said, right, if the leader should never be dominant and controlling. Okay, the leader should be open to accept the mistake. The leader should be open to make the mistake. Okay, if you are a leader, it does not mean that you are not eligible to make the mistake. If you will not make the mistake, you will not try new thing. And that's the biggest problem leaders have, that they are rigid to whatever they know, and they do not try new things. Okay, now the second point, they are the lifelong learner. Okay, I know most of the leaders. So when I was preparing this T model, I have done lots of research in terms of the top leaders. When it comes to the Elon Musk, when it comes to Ambani, when it comes to, in fact, Modi, when it comes to the various industries leaders, right? They are manufacturer, whether they are different celebrities, whether they are politicians, whether they are the public figure, they all are the lifelong learner, and most of them are following Kaizen model. Okay, most of them are following the principle that we should dedicate 1 hour a day. I'm repeating again, we should dedicate 1 hour a day in learning. And learning means, is it's not that learning that you just read it and forget it, or you just learn something, you just listen something podcast, or read the book, or watch the video, some informative video or educational video, and you forget. No, you have to transform this information into your knowledge. How will you do that? By applying this information, the education, the knowledge you have gained, into your personal day-to-day life, and that is how it becomes your wisdom, and that is how you will be transformed. So again, when you will be transformed as a leader, people will watch you, people will get inspired by you, and that is how people get transformed by themselves watching you. So you don't have to influence anybody, you don't have to transform anybody, you just do whatever is needed for your transformation. People will look at you, people will take example, you will be setting an example to the people, and people will grasping the information, the inspiration from you, and they will be getting transformed. And that is how you can become authentic leader. Okay, so the second point is continuous improvement, 1%. So Kaizen model is a Japanese techniques which is related to the self improvement, self growth, which says that 1% improvement in a day. If you improve day by day, by the end of the year you will be improved 32% of whatever you had at the beginning of the year, right? So this is the model which most of the leaders follow. I would say that 1% of the industry leaders who are actually doing something great and making legendary, they are following this model. Okay, next one. They don't just exist, they live. What does it mean? Okay, it means that they are not going with the flow. If there are 99% people are like this, that they face some situation, they get set back, and then they sit, and then they wait for the situation to overcome, and then they wait for the time to overcome this situation, and then they take the next step. No. So the authentic leaders are the one who take actually action, and who take control the situations for themselves. They are not getting controlled by the situation. So that's the difference between the normal people and between the authentic leader. Okay, so they live by the situation, they face the situation with all courage, and they don't just exist and go with the flow. They are not the survivors, they are the controllers of their situations. Okay, next one, limiting pattern breaker. What does it mean? So say for example, if I am a leader, okay, and my decisions, believe it or not, analysis, strategic thinking, everything will come, but my ultimate decision comes through emotional brain. I hope everybody would be agree with that. Okay, so when it comes to decision making, the emotional brain overtake always, and that is why I say that my boss is biased towards that person, my boss or my friend is biased towards my another friend, right? Why? Because ultimately our emotional, we do all the logics, okay, we put all analysis, all logic, all review for taking the decisions, but when the last point come to take the decision, or the last minute comes to take the decision, above all we take the emotional brain, emotional side, and we take decisions based on our emotional conditioning. Okay, so here comes, say for example, if I have some traumatic experience, some bad experience in my previous life, or in my childhood or something, and through that trauma I have some conditioning as a leader, and I'm not able to trust the people, then I'm not an authentic leader. So what we need to be an authentic leader, I have to leave my biases. How will I leave? To condition my, or recondition, or rewire my brain, so that my subconscious mind do not pick that trauma, and it naturally trust with people, to the people. For example, if I am a boss, if I am a female, I do not trust male, then I would not be able to promote a male candidate. I will not be justify. I will not give a justification to a male candidate, right? So that's the challenge leaders are facing. That's why they should be smart enough to overcome all this limiting barrier they might have in their childhood trauma, or whatever patterns they have, right? So they should be able to control their subconscious mind and emotions, which is known as emotional intelligence. Okay, so ultimately they should have the emotional intelligence coefficient high, so that they take unbiased decisions. Okay, so these are the basic characters a leader should have. The last one is empathy and humbleness. Okay, this is the basic requirement of any human being, not only a leader. Okay, so but I have seen many people, as they are growing, they, especially when they are growing with the hard work, they become empathic and humble, right? Why it is happening? Because they have faced they have seen the ground reality. Okay, so they are able to connect with the people or the subordinate who are working at the ground level, so they are able to connect, and that is why they are humble and empathic with those people, right? So these are the basic character of a leader. And now let me confirm if you are able to, or if you are able to follow me, if you have any question. So let me go back. Okay, and let me ask the question. If you have any question right now, so feel free to ask me question here, so that I can answer at this point of time. If it is clear, please type clear in a chat box or comment box, so that I understand, I can move forward. Please confirm if it is clear. Till now we have discussed about the first thing, myths of the leadership growth, and second point, we have discussed about the traits, the basic quality which is needed for a leader, authentic leader. Okay, now we are moving towards the T model, or the T model framework. Okay, all right, so in case, perfect, thank you so much. So now, since you are clear, now let's move to the T model factor, or the T model framework. Now what is T model framework? Okay, so at any level, okay, whether you want to grow, I'll stop sharing for a few minutes so that you don't have any confusion. So let's focus here and let's listen to me very carefully, because this is very important for all of you. Okay, so say for example, you want to grow in your life, or you want to change, or you want to develop. Okay, how will you develop? You have to make a team model factor. Okay, whether you it is about your personal growth, whether it is about your skill development, whether it is about your communication skills, whether it is about your leadership skills, whether it's anything related to anything which you are want to improve or want to grow, this T model will be applicable to you. Now, what is T model? So nowadays, the time has gone there when you had the linear experience or linear learning and linear path to grow. Okay, now the time has come that you and also there was a time that if you are the master of one skill, that was enough, right? Or there was a time that if you are, for example, if our grandparents or maybe our parents, they had the time that if they were BA, they were MA, they got the job, right? Then the time came that you have to be the doctor, you have to be the engineer, you have to be surgeon to get a good job. Now the time has come that you have to do multiple variations in your skills, you have to add multiple degrees, and you have to add multiple skills in your resume to get a good position. For example, AI. Okay, AI is now I'm talking about 2025, 2026. So AI is inevitable part of your job, whether you are content writer, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a trainer, whether you are a student, whether you are working professional, whether you are a leader, AI has to be used by you. Okay, so even if you're a doctor, even if you're an author, even if you're an engineer, you have to use the AI. Okay, so now AI is inevitable part of any profession. Now, second point, when it comes to, so these are the few skills which you have to have the basic knowledge. Okay, basic knowledge. And now there are few skills in combination to these basic skills, you have to have a depth knowledge, deep knowledge of one skill. Okay, so this is how the T model becomes, where you have to work, you need to know few skills which are the basic skills, and there are few skills or one skill that you have to have the deep knowledge about it. Say for example, I'm talking about Komal. Okay, Komal is a communication trainer. Okay, and she is the master of engaging audience. Okay, so this is her, if I draw a T model for her skills, so since she is an expert of audience engagement, so the vertical line of the T will be her audience engagement, because she has the master on this particular area. Okay, now if I'm talking about she is a communication trainer, so what other skills she would need to know? The presentation skills, right? The communication में फिर और क्या आता है? Communication में आपका आ गया how to deal with audience, how to know your audience, how to find out your topic, how to decide your topic, how to draft a speech. All these things are the basic knowledge you should have, but not the in-depth knowledge. But if, say for example, if I'm a communication trainer and I know how to organize a speech, I know how to I'm the master on how to draft a speech, so my vertical line will be how to draft a speech. Okay, for audience engagement will be my basic basic skills which I have in addition to other skills. I think I'm making sense, and I hope that you are getting the point clear. Please confirm that you are getting the clarity of this T model. Perfect. Thank you so much. So basically what I'm trying to say is you have to have the mastery in one skill along with the basic knowledge of all. So one skill where you are the master and jack of other skills. Are you getting the point, right? Thank you so much. Thanks for confirmation. All right. Now moving ahead to our topic, and that is T model. Okay, so as I said that you have to have the width of few skills and the depth of one skill. So let's talk about the in terms of leadership growth when you are preparing for the CXO level. What are the skills you need as basic skills, and what is the one skill you need to master? All right, so let's talk about. And here the disclaimer is that I am not talking about the technical skill. I am talking about the authentic leader's skill. If you become an authentic leader and you want people to respect you, if you want people to follow you authentically, not as dominating leader, not as authoritative leader, right? So you have to have these skills. And basically, these are the human skills, the behavioral skills. Okay, so let's talk about them. I'm sorry. Yeah, coming back. Okay, so I'll go to, yeah. All right. So I hope you are able to see my second page. Let me check. Yeah, you are able to see. I'll just make it bigger. All right. So just a second. All right. So when it comes to leadership growth, okay, and at that to top level, that to CXO level, okay, so there are 5 skills you need to have, or must have skills that you should have the basic knowledge, okay, the foundational knowledge. How? The first one is the storyteller. You need to be a storyteller for sure. There is no these are the skills which I'm talking about. These are the inevitable skills. You cannot avoid these skills or ignore these skills if you're planning to grow as a CXO of a company, or CEO or CFO of the company, okay, or even senior leadership. I'm talking about at any level. You need to have these skills, okay. Now when it comes to storyteller, what are the basic things you need to keep in mind? Okay, so the first thing is, okay, the first thing, so I'm talking about the horizontal factors of the width of the T factor, where you have to improve this, okay. So first, the quality you should have, or the skills you should have, anything in the business, whether it is revenue, whether it is product launch, whether it is a new market launch, anything, you should create a story behind it, okay, or a success story that can also be converted in an interesting story. So first thing, you should have the quality, or you should have the skills to convert anything into story, into interesting story. For example, you can learn from Steve Jobs. He was the master of stories, okay. Whenever he launched iPhone, whenever he launched iPad, whenever he launched smartwatches, that time he also created the stories and narrated the stories in the market. Now, next one, to the point. Storyteller does not mean that you have to create a long story and you have to write novels. No, you have to be to the point, but at the same time, you have to narrate in a way it looks like stories. Okay. Next one is connect with the emotions. The people you are talking to, for example, it can be your employees, it can be your students, it can be your friends, it can be your colleague, even it can be your boss. It has to be connected through stories, and stories bring the emotions, connect through the emotions, right? So that is how you can, the one quality you must have, or the one skill you must develop as a leader, is the storyteller. Okay, now the next one, which is a very controversial, but again I would say that you need to know political, you need to be political, and you need to be diplomatic. Okay, this is very, very critical. I understand, I take the full responsibility, but you have to be responsible, and you have to be diplomatic, and you have to be political. Okay, how many of you feel that you are political, or how many of you in the room feel that you are diplomatic, or how many of you feel that being diplomatic is fine, being political is right? Yukti, diplomatic, perfect, राइट सो तो अभी रिसेंटली ना मैं एक प्रोग्राम देख रही थी. उस प्रोग्राम में कहा गया कि आप घर में हो तो राम बन के रहो, और बाहर आप जा रहे हो तो कृष्ण बन के जाओ. ठीक है, तो घर में आप डिप्लोमेसी मत करो, ओके. घर में आप पॉलिटिक्स मत करो, बट जब भी आप बाहर जा रहे हो, जब आपको लोगों से डील करना है, जब आपको लोगों से को हैंडल करना है, दैट टाइम यू हैव टू बी पॉलिटिकल, दैट टाइम यू हैव टू बी डिप्लोमैट. आप ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि ओके टैक्टफुल ऑनेस्ट, but okay Komal, but you have to deal with the people, you have to okay, so Komal, do you feel problem in saying no? Right, so that's the challenge, that's the challenge. So if you are not able to say no diplomatically, then there is a problem. If you have the power, power brings the politics. So if you are taking the power, if you are enjoying the power, take the side others or other products of this, side products of it, and politics is the side effect or the side product of it, right? So you need to understand how to deal with the politics. If you are not doing politics, that is perfect, but you should know who is doing politics against you. Okay, and when you know that somebody is doing politics against you and you are taking action, that time then you are becoming diplomat, because you cannot fight that person directly face to face, because it's a corporate and professional setup. You cannot go and fight with that person. You have to deal with diplomacy and political way, right? And if you're not able to do, you will not be able to survive. This is a bottom line for politics and diplomacy in corporate world. It is inevitable. If you are not able to take part of it, you will be vanished, and it's a fact, right? So that is why you have to be diplomat, you have to be political without harming anybody. You are just protecting yourself. Okay, so this is again one of the leaders quality. If you want to go at the top, and let me tell you, at the top there is a highest percentage of politics happening, because the limitation, the resources are limited, the positions are limited, and everybody is trying to get that position, because number one तो एक ही होता है ना, तो वहां तो फाइट ज्यादा होगी ना, तो फाइट ज्यादा होगी तो पॉलिटिक्स भी ज्यादा होगी, डिप्लोमेसी भी ज्यादा होगी, right? So that is why you need to learn all these things. Okay, now okay, now how to say no, I will cover in another session, but that is again a complete, it will take complete session on teaching how to say no, because that takes a whole part together. Okay, now decision making. Okay, so decision making, first of all, you cannot, I have seen many leaders, they avoid to take decisions because they don't want to take the accountability. How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? Give me a smiley. Okay, if you feel that your boss is not able to take the decision, please type yes in a chat box. Or sometimes we are not able to take the right decisions. How many of you agree with that? राइट, वी फील कि कहीं गलत ना हो जाए यार. घर की ही बात ले लेते हैं, बच्चे को किस कॉलेज पे एडमिशन दिलाना है, अपने हस्बैंड को हम बोलेंगे तुम बोलो ना यार कौन सा लेना है, अपने बच्चे को हम डाल देंगे तुम बताओ ना कौन सा लेना है, हस्बैंड हम पे डालेगा तुम डिसाइड कर लो. व्हाई? बिकॉज वी डोंट वांट टू गेट रॉन्ग, right? So that's the biggest problem. We have to take the risk, we have to take the strategic thinking, and we need to be accountable. Exactly, we can't take on ourselves. That is the accountability problem, right? We need to be adaptable, and we need to be agile. जैसा सिचुएशन आया है उसके हिसाब से मोल्ड होके, उसके हिसाब से सिचुएशंस को मोल्ड करके, रिसोर्सेज को मोल्ड करके, एंड अल्टीमेटली वी हैव टू टेक अ डिसीजन. We have to take the ownership, right? So agility and adaptability is something which you take quickly, and which based on the situation you have to change the decisions, right? So this is very important skill which every leader needs to learn. The next one is negotiation. Okay, so here we have to have the basic knowledge. Okay, I'm not talking about the in-depth knowledge. You have to have the foundation of it, and slowly and gradually what will happen, you will become the master of all these things. But ultimately there is one skill which you need to be, you must have skills first thing, and you need to be master of that skill. I'll open it in some time. Okay, so fourth skill in the width of T model factor is negotiation. Okay, see, If you are not able to ask anything, you will not able to get what do you want. How many of you think that you are working on the less salary compared to your colleagues, or you are not able to, or you did not negotiate it for your role, or you did not negotiate it for your location, or you did not negotiate for your salary, or you did not negotiate for your promotion, because you did not had the data to justify. You just felt that you deserve, but you did not have the negotiation resources with you, the data with you, the facts with you, right? So again, negotiation is a skill that takes a whole long class to cover, but this is something you need to have, a must have skill if you want to grow as a leader at a top level, because you will be negotiating not to the employees, you will be not negotiating to your family, you will not be negotiating to your colleagues, you will be negotiating to the stakeholders outside the organization. तो अंदर क्या होता है, विद इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन यू नो पीपल, स्टिल यू हैव द कंट्रोल बिकॉज यू आर द बॉस, but outside your organization, they are the boss, your client is your boss, your stakeholders your boss, your vendor is your boss. And there the negotiation really needs a lot of savings, and it also needs a lot of courage, it also needs a lot of diplomacy, it also needs a strategic thinking. And that's why everything comes through in a width, in a step by step, in a order, right? So that is the second thing. So if you want to have your own thing, if you want to have your own conditions on your own, वो बोलते ना कि आपको अपनी शर्तों में यदि कुछ चाहिए है तो आपको नेगोशिएशन आना चाहिए, ठीक है? सो दिस इज अगेन वन ऑफ द क्वालिटी ऑफ अ ऑथेंटिक लीडर. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन इज नॉलेज ऑफ एआई. जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बोला था, एआई अक्रॉस वर्टिकल में काम करता है. आप चाहे लीडर हो, आप चाहे कोडर हो, आप चाहे हाउसवाइफ हो, आप चाहे टीचर हो, आप चाहे ट्रेनर हो, आप चाहे एंटरप्रेन्योर हो, आप चाहे स्टार्टअप फाउंडर हो, आप चाहे आर्टिस्ट हो, यू नीड टू हैव द एआई नॉलेज. एआई नॉलेज अभी बात कर रही हूँ क्योंकि अभी एआई मार्केट में है, बाद में कुछ और आ जाएगा. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू नीड टू हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ ट्रेंड, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग अराउंड. Okay, so this is why this is important, and these are the width of the skills. Okay, now moving to the depth. Okay, so these are the 5 skills which you must have, or the foundation or the touch point you should know, okay, about these skills to be an authentic leader at the CXO level. Okay, now moving to the depth of the knowledge. Okay, or depth of the skills. What is the skill that you need to be mastered as a leader? So I hope you are able to see my screen. All right, so how many of you feel, okay, how many of you feel that you need to be the mind reader if you want to be the leader? I'm repeating again. You need to be the mind reader if you want to be the leader, if you want to lead the people. How many of you agree with that? Right? See, if you want to negotiate with people, if you want to take any decision, okay, I'll repeat again, Komal. So if you need to be observant. For example, I have Komal, Yukti, Roshni, and other people watching on the different platform. Okay, now I know what is going on. If I know that what is going on in the mind of Roshni, I know what is going on in the mind of Yukti, I know what is going on in the mind of Komal, then I will take exactly those questions and I will answer exactly those answers what all of you are looking forward. Then you will say, oh, Akanksha is a great trainer. I might know only 3 things out of 10 things, but because I have solved your queries, your questions, you will feel, oh, she is a great leader. How many of you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, so if I am solving your problem, say for example, now let me get back to the slide. Okay, so I should be great observant. What do you mean by that? See, I should be able to understand what are the problems, what are the challenges in the organization before anybody come and tell me as a leader. Why? Because I know my organization. I have observed my employees. I understand their problems and challenges. So if मुझे पता है कि युक्ति का प्रमोशन चाहिए है और युक्ति की बोलने से पहले मैं यदि उसको प्रमोशन दे देती हूँ, सो युक्ति व्हाट विल यू से? ओ आकांक्षा इज अ ग्रेट लीडर. ओके, आई नो रोशनी को अहमदाबाद लोकेशन ही चाहिए है, एंड इफ आई असाइन, इफ आई मेक हर लोकेशन अहमदाबाद एज अ बेस लोकेशन, शी विल बी हैप्पी. But I have the power to negotiate with her कि since I am giving you Ahmedabad, my salary, your salary will be little less. Why? Because I know her problem. I am addressing, I am negotiating with her choice of location. Are you getting my point? So this is how leaders become diplomat through they know what is needed, what are your challenges and what are the problems, and how I can play with you. How I can negotiate with you. No, Komal, there is a conflict. There is a conflict. Still, there is a conflict. Right? But the point is, that's why, see, conflict is a situation. And great leader is a conflict manager because he knows how to deal with diplomacy, how to deal with negotiation, how to deal or empathize with people. Because I know your weaknesses, I know your challenges, I know your strength, how to adjust, set the right thing at a right place. I know that. You're getting my point. So that is why leaders are great observant. They know what their employees need. Right. So say for example, you are coming to me for as a trainer and you want my consultancy services. You say, Akanksha, your fees is very high. Can you please reduce it, give some discount? I would say, yeah. What you can do, bring two people along with you and I will give you 50% discount. What I'm doing, I'm reducing your fees, but at the same time, I'm getting the profit from you. So it's a win-win situation. So that is how great leaders have a strategic thought process, and that is how they create the situation. Are you getting my point? Right? So first thing, the leader should know the problem they are going to solve of employees and organization. They should know the need of the market and the consumer. Okay, I know that XYZ needs a job very badly. Okay, I know that this is very important for him or her. Then I will negotiate and I will get him into less salary, because I know he would be able to ready by to offer 10,000 when he would be ready in 7,000. Right? So that is how I should know what is the need of others, and so that I can play with that. Okay, as a leader. Next one is strength and weaknesses of the competitors. What are my weaknesses? What are the gaps in my strength and weaknesses and my competitors' weaknesses, so that I can fill and get the position in the market. I am talking about the leader's mindset. This is the critical point what I'm talking today. See, the problem is that as a leader, we always talk about the superficial things. Oh, leader should be empathize. Oh, leader should be influencing. Oh, leader should be have this image, this branding, that branding. But they are not talking about the inside of the mind. What leader should have, what kind of mindset leader should have. So these are the points which I'm highlighting today, is the inside of mind of a great leaders. Okay, so that is why it is the mastery. It is not one day thing. Okay, you cannot just learn today and you can apply tomorrow and you will be the master of the leadership growth. No, this is the day-to-day activity which you will improve day by day. As I said, Kaizen model, right? So Kaizen method you can apply these techniques, what I'm talking, skills which I'm talking, and that is how you can grow towards the leadership. role. Okay, so what do you need to do? You need to understand the need, you need to understand the challenges, you need to understand the problems, you need to understand the weaknesses and strength of your stakeholders. And that is how you can become the master of great leaders, and that is how you can understand what is needed and where you can put your unique positioning, so that you can become indispensable. Remember what I said at the beginning, that position, job and tactics and whatever technology you know, that will bring you the position, but ultimately the human behavior like this will make you the indispensable. Are you getting the point? Yeah, so this is how the leaders become the great leaders and authentic leaders. Okay, and that's where the come the politics, that's where come the diplomacy, that's where comes the the decision making, strategic thinking, and storytelling also. Okay, so I hope this is clear, I hope that the points are clear. In case you have any question, in case you want to know more on about any topic, and if you want to have any point to add, please let me know, I will add you on the stage. Anybody would like to add anything? Okay, so I think maybe I'm not sure if people are getting any question or not, because I'm not able to see the comment of outside platform. So in case, let me check once here. Okay, so in case if you do not have question, or if you're not able to put questions now, what you can do is you can replay this recording, and you can ask questions in a comment box later, and I will address those questions at the comment box itself. Okay, whether you are watching from LinkedIn, or you are watching from YouTube, or you are watching from Facebook, please put your question on the comment box. I will reply you there, then and there, because I'm not able to see the comments here in the platform. Perfect. Thank you. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. And yes, Komal, if you have question, I will add you on the stage. Yes, Komal, I will. Yeah,
Yeah, ma'am.
you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
add.
Yeah. Ma'am, wonderful topic. First of all, thank you so much for this wonderful topic. And this is a very new topic for me. And I got to know that there are the many skills which we need to learn as a leader. Okay,
Correct.
but my question is the depth skills. What the depth skills that you told me that this is the insight of the mind of the great leader.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
and you told me that this is not a one-day activity. Daily you
mm,
have to improve. Okay, so
mm,
like for example, mind reader. matlab,
mm,
huh. So then how I can develop this thing? Because I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I
mm,
haven't read the psychology. So how I can read the mind of other person? So is
mm.
there any techniques, or
See,
how I
so to read the mind,
hmm,
basically you have to follow the patterns. For example, your boss is talking, your boss is biased towards one person, one
okay.
of your colleagues. Okay, then
Hmm,
you should follow the pattern, what exactly that person is doing, and when the boss is appreciating that person. For example, whether his presentation is too good, that time the boss is appreciating. Whether he is doing something extra, overtime, or some unexpected thing which is not being asked in that role, but still he is doing what exactly he is doing, so the boss is becoming happy. Okay, so you
okay.
will get to understand what your boss needs. Okay, so it is basically the observation you will do, and that is how you will get to know people's behavior, and you will understand what is the need of your boss, what is your problem of your boss, what is your weakness of your colleagues, or what is your weakness or strength of your colleague, which is needed by your boss. You're getting my point?
Yes, I'm getting, and suppose it's not my nature, but I don't want to involve so much. But then I need to take the step if I really want to be upgrade into my career. You are saying in this way. Okay.
Yeah, so I understand, like for
Hmm.
example, there are many people, they say, oh, why should I be worried about this, जाने दो ना, उनको करने दो जो करना है लाइफ में,
Hmm.
ठीक है ना,
Hmm.
हमें क्या मतलब है. लेकिन the thing is that since you are planning to grow as a leader, right, you
Hmm.
have to deal with the people, so you have to understand people's psychology. And
Okay.
believe me, psychology is not something that you get through the degree. Of course, there are techniques, there are methods which you will learn through psychology degrees and diplomas, whatever course are there. But the basic learning you will learn through observation, through your own experience.
But I must be very good observant. I must be very good. But I must be very aware every time.
Ha,
Every time.
ha. Alert,
Okay.
alert and aware.
Yes, yes.
Alert and aware is the word. Yes.
And one model, ma'am, you told Kaizen model.
Yes.
So basically, I need to learn this model for all
Kaizen
these.
model is not a very big model, Komal. It's
Okay.
basically says that you need to improve yourself for 1% in a day. For example, today you feel that my presentation or my communication is up to 4 level.
Hmm.
So to reach to 10 level, you will start with 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and that is how. So basically, it's a gradual improvement.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Got it? Yeah.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So, anybody else have any question? Otherwise, we are good to just a sec. Okay. So, yeah, I think. All right. So, if we do not have any other question, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And you made this session very interactive. I repeat again, in case you have further question to ask, and if you want to clarify any point, please put in a comment box in any platform you're watching. And watch, if you're missed a few of the points, please go and replay this video and watch the recording so that you get the clarity from end to end, because first you need to clear your myths and then understand the traits, and then only you will be able to understand the T model to full, okay, to the fullest. So thank you so much joining in, and I will see you in the next session. Bye bye, take care.